What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome to Jets Today. It is the live call-in show. It is a Sunday night, and I am so excited to be with all of you. I'm going to lay out all the ground rules. You have to DM me on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook if you want to appear on the show with me. And we're going to talk all Jets all night here. From 8 to 9 o'clock, I'll be here. And I'm very excited to talk Jets with you. We got Jay Johnson already in the chat. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. If you don't know my Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook handles, they're right here. Yeah, right there. At NYJetsToday_. You can reach out to me. Let me know you want the link to join the show. And worst case scenario, if you don't want your face on the screen, you can just put your phone down or whatever it is you're using. And you don't actually have to appear. You can just have your voice. It could be like a phone call. TJ Decker says, what's up? Yeah, man, not too much. We had the schedule release. I've got it here on my screen. And we can talk about the schedule, but we can talk about all kinds of things. We can talk whatever you guys want to talk about. But I have the schedule ready, trigger happy and ready to go. I bought my tickets for the Ravens game. I'm going to be there for the opener. So I'm very, very excited about it. And I just cannot wait for the season to begin. I can't wait for training camp. I know most people have their eyes set on the games and, when they're going to be played, but I'm pretty excited about just, getting to training camp and going to those practices. I've never been to Jets training camp before. It's something that's been on my my to-do list for quite some time now and been wanting to do that for a long time. My wife and I are going to make the trip up finally to go do that. So let's see here. Let's get to a first comment. It says, Budster, what's going on, Budster? I saw your email. I'm glad you got the koozie. Hope you're enjoying it already. He says, I'm in upstate New York right now, John, just visiting until I move here next month. Interesting. Well, good luck on the move. That's a very stressful thing to have to deal with. My wife and I did that a couple of times when we were first living together. And then we finally got settled down, and we are not going anywhere. Jet up, Buttercup. Sauce. Yes. Sauce Gardner, man. So excited about him, the addition. And we talked a lot about the idea that if you're getting Sauce Gardner, you're also going to need to get a good pass rush, because if you combo that, if you get those two things cooking, you're going to go from being a good defense to a really, really special unit. And you have an opportunity to make a lot of plays. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe that is what it was. Who knows? I just kept following her. Stray 100's Jets. He is the now official Dolphin instigator. He says, Dolphins fans are shook. They've been humiliated by Tua and the organization. They're lashing out on social media. It's glorious. Can't wait for week 5. I was hoping for the Dolphins week 1. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping for that game. I just felt like that would have been a great way to kick off the season against the Dolphins. Would have been really intense. But we got the Ravens, and that's going to be really intense too for different reasons, but a very, very intense game nonetheless. Dele is here. What's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate seeing you in the chat. Yeah, I did see this. I feel bad for him. I don't know the specifics, so I'm not going to comment on, everything. But it sucks because he's a young dude, he's blowing a massive, massive opportunity to not only be a great football player, but to make a ton of money. And so it sucks. It sucks for that reason. Again, I don't know all of the details. I think some of it may be domestic related. But again, not really sure. And again, I just feel bad for it. I feel bad that that's the situation that he's having to go through. But maybe I'll have a specific comment, depending on what actually happens and what we find out in the coming weeks. Gary Avenoso. Yes. He says, I'm looking forward to the training camp battles. Kicker, running back, safety, linebacker. Will we see Mims finally step up? Mekhi Becton's health, and I would go ahead and throw in there Carl Lawson, his health. What does he look like coming back from the Achilles tear? I made a video about, him. They said he looks absolutely fantastic. He's already doing individual workouts. So I think the optimism for Carl Lawson should be very, very high. I'm very excited to see what he looks like in training camp. And, that'll be one of the things that I look for when I go there, because I can finally say that I'm going to go to training camp. Thank you for throwing that in the comments. And I will be making training camp battle videos. Oh, let's see. Training camp's in July. So, maybe in June, I'll start pumping those out. That'll be in 2 weeks or so, I'll start pumping out training camp battle videos every week. And it'll highlight specific battles that the position groups might have. So it could be, you said safety. So Pinnock would be in the mix there. Ashton Davis, LaMarcus Joyner. I think those guys are all battling for playing time. And that could be a really, really interesting video for sure. We got Owen. What's going on, Owen? He called in last week. Hope you decide to call in a little bit. I'm going to check my DMs in just a little bit, guys. I'm just getting the show started. If you haven't already hit that like button, go ahead and do so. And if you're watching this after it airs, your likes still count. Your likes still matter. Hit the like button, even if you're watching it after the show's aired. And I also encourage you that if you're watching this and you've been watching the content on the channel and you've never hit that subscribe button, hit it. Hit the subscribe button. Support the channel. I've been creating a lot of content. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Lots of videos, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I hope you guys consider joining up and helping support the channel. All right. Owen says, realistically, I only see us winning 6 games without projection because I'm tired of having high expectations and being disappointed. This is a common stance, and there's nothing really wrong with it. Not wanting to get your hopes up, and I completely understand that. In my opinion, right now, I'm saying 7 or 8 wins. And honestly, if we're less than 7 wins, I'm starting to be like, okay, what went wrong? And as long as it's not Zach Wilson, if we win 6 games in 2022 and Zach Wilson's balling out and we win a couple of AFC East games, like, I'm fine. But if it's 6 wins and he's not so good, or, he didn't really take a big enough step forward in year 2, that's when I start to go, okay, 6 wins really isn't acceptable. I'll be very disappointed with 6 wins if that's the case. Let's see here. Jay Johnson. I love this right here. And I'm not saying that a lot of fans will do this, but some people will say, okay, yeah, the secondary, no fly zone. And ultimately, it's really that D-line, man. The D-line is what is going to take that secondary to another level. You can have really good cornerbacks and really, really good safeties, but unless you have that pass rush, they are eventually going to lose that battle. And that's exactly what Jay Johnson is saying right here. Thank you for the comment. Owen, he says, people are expecting 4,000 passing yards from Wilson are delusional. I don't know about that. I know that would be a significant jump. I think that maybe is what you're getting at. Like, that would be too big of a jump to expect. But it's not that much. It's not that many yards on average per game. I think it's like 265 or something like that. With the 17th game, assuming he's healthy, 4,000 really shouldn't be all that insane. And if he's the number 2 overall pick, I'm not saying he has to do it this year. He should come close to it if he doesn't get 4,000 yards. I think the people that suggest 30 touchdowns are a little bit delusional. He had 9 passing touchdowns last year. Right now, my safe bet, I would say if he hits 20 to 24 touchdowns this season passing, I'm doing backflips. I'm happy. I'm excited because year 3 is going to be even better. He's going to take a further step forward statistically and on the field. Manny C, he says 7 and 9. Let's go. Let's see. G Money, he says 2-0 to start the season for sure. We play at Cleveland week 2. And then obviously the home game to start the year is going to be versus the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be a really, really intense atmosphere. The Jets fans are going to show up and they're going to show out. I will say, though, that the Ravens fans, they travel pretty well, so it wouldn't shock me if they have a pretty good showing, unfortunately, in our home stadium. If you're a Jets fan and you have the funds, go ahead and buy a ticket. Go to that game, man. Are you a defense wins championships guy? No, not necessarily. I think defense obviously is an important ingredient, but no, I think quarterbacks win championships, right? In most cases, quarterbacks win you a championship. Also, good coaching. I think that matters a lot. But definitely, you can't really expect to win without having at least, middle of the road defensive play. I think that anything less is going to be a problem for you. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. Hey, I got the name right. Yes, sir. I try my best. I definitely miss sometimes, though. Let's see. We got a comment from Hennessy Heisman. What's going on, man? He says, why? He has a lot of playmakers. If Zach plays all 17 games, he can definitely make it, or definitely throw for 4,000 yards. It's about 240 a game. Okay, yeah, so that's even less than what I expected. If he plays all 17, and that's exactly what you put in your comment. If he plays all 17, geez, man. We haven't had a 4,000-yard passer since Joe Namath. Like, let's get with the times. Let's get with the times. I'm not saying, Owen, you're wrong, but I'm saying, like, man, let's just get over this hump of not getting a quarterback to have 4,000 passing yards. It's insane. NY Jets Superfan, he says, hi, John, great show. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Hope you guys checked out the content this weekend. I had 2 videos come out on the channel. Let me see if I can quickly show you those, and I'm struggling here. Let's see here. Thumbnails. Where are you? I'm taking too long. Forget it. There's a video about the tight end room, which is on the channel right now, and then I also have a video analyzing the week 1 game. It's super early, but I wanted to talk about the game just because it was such an exciting topic. Let's keep going here. GVH, he says, speaking of training camp, who do you want to see win the left tackle battle? Woo, who do I want to see win it? That's a tricky question. I want to see Becton win it just because I want him to be the long-term answer at left tackle. But my expectation is that the George Fant is going to win the battle, and I think that the Jets really like the idea of Mekhi Becton on the right side. Certainly that could change, that if Mekhi Becton comes in there, he just completely dominates. They might go ahead and give him the nod. But don't rule out the idea that the Jets put him at right tackle this year and then move him back to left tackle in 2023. Because we've already seen the Jets they're not really worried about moving guys around on that offensive line. They moved AVT from left guard to right guard. They've moved Fant around quite a bit as well. So don't rule that out. The fact that, even if Becton doesn't win this left tackle, battle this year, does not mean that he won't eventually be our left tackle for the future. Sorry, I gotta hydrate. Andrew Gabrielson, what's going on, man? Haven't been so stoked in a long time. Yeah, man, we should all feel, even again, like 7-win season, 8-win season. I'm jacked. I'm excited, man. I'm fired up, and those are my expectations. And again, if you're a fan of the New York Jets, why are you not just letting yourself be a little bit excited? Like, life is too short. Life is too short, and also we're fans of the team. Like, you got to just let yourself be a fan every once in a while and be excited. That's kind of how I feel about it. Dark Soldier, what's going on, man? Oh, man. Let's get to some topics, some comments, some questions. Let me check my social medias here. If you have not DM'd me yet, go ahead and DM me because I don't see any on Twitter. I might have one on Instagram. Let's see here. Let's go, Owen. Owen is going to join the show in a couple of seconds here. I'm going to give you the link, Owen. And guys, if you're not sure how to join the show, DM me on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook. It's right here. Yeah. If you DM me, I will invite you to join my show. I send you a link, and then you come on. You can talk about a minute or two here. Give me your takes on the Jets. Give me a take on the schedule. You can talk whatever you want. Anything you want. You get to be a part of the show. Daniel Faust, he says, there is not this potential improvement on any other NFL team. 10 wins. Well, I hear you. We can win 10 games. I'm going to say that there is potential for other teams to improve, though. We've seen it. I mean, in NFL history, it's just year to year. Every season, somebody comes up and really steps forward and makes a name for themselves. The Bengals are the popular one, but it happens all the time. Teams just flip the script. So I definitely want it to be the Jets, but there's definitely a bunch of teams that could take that next step for sure. There are so many comments. I'm having a hard time keeping up with you guys. I will let you know if you want your comments read right away. Just go ahead and put in a super chat and I will read it right away, of course. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep going through the list here of comments. Andrew says, if we have a top 15 defense and a top 20 offense, I believe we should finish in the middle of the pack for sure, which I think would be great. Man, if we're not higher than just the 20th offense in the NFL, I would say that would be disappointing. And that doesn't even require, it doesn't even require Zach Wilson to go bananas for us to be able to do that. I'm expecting a top 18, top 15 offense. Really, I am. Upper half of the NFL is my expectation for this offense. There's too much speed. There's too many playmakers. There's too much dynamic ability, versatility, depth. This offense has to be able to burn, man. And I agree with this comment here. They need to be balanced. I want the running game to be an emphasis early in the season. I'm not saying ground and pound like Rex Ryan days, but I am saying keep the defense off balance. Don't let them get comfortable in what you're going to do. Don't let them get the idea that they can do one specific thing on defense and it's just going to continuously win. They should have to wonder, okay, what do we do next? How do we defend this guy? Okay, now they've got both of these guys on the field at the same time, Breece Hall and Michael Carter. How do we defend that? There should be scenarios this season where we see Michael Carter and Breece Hall in the backfield together at the same time. And that is so exciting. So exciting. And you can sprinkle in a little bit of Tevin Coleman as well, man. I'm down for that as well. All right, we got a new commenter, Jonathan122469. What's going on? Beast mode, he says. His comment reads, 236 yards a game will get him to 4,000. Listen, low expectations. Even if you're like a guy that's like, Zach Wilson's not going to take a really big step. If he had 200 yards per game, that's really not all that far off from 236. Like, I know the simple math is 36 yards per game. He should have games where he has, close to 300 yards or 300 yards or more. He did that against the Titans. He had like 297 yards last year. He should be able to hit that mark in most games, 200 or more yards. Yeah, he should be able to get to 4,000. I'm going to stand firm on that. I think that's a very reasonable expectation for Zach Wilson. Owen, I did send you a link. I don't know if you're still here or not. If anybody wants to join me, I'm down. I'm down to read the comments. I'm also down to invite you to join the show. No DMs on the Facebook. And guys, I do have a Facebook page. If you haven't, go ahead and look for NY Jets Today on Facebook. We have a page and you can interact with me during the week. Andrew Gabrielson says, I need that ground and pound this year. Who's the backup quarterback? Joe Flacco is the backup quarterback. He will be a fine backup for us this year. Mike White is also in the mix. I don't know if he's going to make the roster. It'll be interesting to see how the Jets handle that situation. All right. Oh my God, dude. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be so hyped up in there. It's going to be really, really loud. And you see in the intro to every live stream, I get jacked up on game day, man. I'm a fired up individual. I'm pretty reserved otherwise. But when it's game day, I am psyched up, man. James Boatwright, 10-7. Let's go. I have no problem with that at all. It certainly is not out of the question, man. We've seen teams go worse to first or even just worse to the playoffs. I have no issues with that at all. Manny C, I don't think Wilson will get to 4K this season because our game plan is not going to call for that, at least this season, and that's fine. If we are so good and so effective and efficient on the ground game that we don't really need to throw it more than like 30 times per game, I'm cool. I am more than fine with that, and I think that with a really strong running game, Zach Wilson should have not only a really high yards per attempt, he doesn't need to have 1,000,000 yards to be efficient and effective. So, I hear exactly what you're saying. If Breece Hall is eating and Michael Carter is feasting, I'm cool with it. Absolutely fine with that. And I do feel like our running game is going to be one of the strongest points of our team this season, especially if Becton can get back to form. That's going to be such a huge, wild card for this Jets team. If Becton can bounce back in a big way, we are up for a really, really fun season watching them run the football. What's going on, Tigo? How's everyone's evening? I'm tired, dude. My daughter, we had her birthday. We celebrated her birthday with her grandparents this weekend. Her actual birthday is coming up this next weekend. I'm worn out, man. We had a bunch of parties, lots of family. So it was a good weekend. Busy, though. Jesus, it's busy. Let's see here. Joe Grana. With the depth of our O-line, if Quinnen Williams has a similar year to last, will Douglas look to trade him at the deadline? I don't think so. Last year, he was not as good as he had been in 2020. He started the year slow. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys, but he started the year off kind of slow because he was recovering from I believe it was a foot injury last off season. So I'm not trying to make a million excuses for Quinnen Williams or for any of these players. But for a bigger guy at defensive tackle, a foot injury can be one that's hard to come back from and be ready to fire away right away. I don't think they're going to look to trade him, though. I think they need to hang on to him and get a sense of who he is. They could always tag him at the end of the year if they needed to, or if they wanted to look to possibly trade him. I still believe in Quinnen Williams as a one-gap penetrating, pass-rushing, interior threat defensive tackle. And does he need to take another step forward this year? Yes. But I'm not expecting him to be a double-digit sack guy really at any point in his career. I'm expecting him to be in that 6 to 9 sack range for the majority of his career. And if that's all he is, that's okay. That's not a bad thing. There aren't many interior defensive linemen that get double-digit sacks. So if he's able to do what I think he's going to do, which is be a threat on the inside, he is worth keeping, and he's also worth reinvesting after the season. So that's my answer. I'm sticking with him. Hopefully he can take it another step here. Wow. I am hoping the Jets go 11-6. Fast Car. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Is that Carapolito? Carapolito? I would be ecstatic. That's the easy way to put it. I would be ecstatic. I'm not expecting 11 wins, though. I think that there's still going to be some growing pains, and not in the way that it was in 2020. In 2021. I'm expecting some duds every once in a while, but it's not going to be these blowouts that we were seeing in 2021. We have some tough games, too. Back-to-back games. We have the Packers and then the Seahawks in the month of October, I believe. That's tough. That's hard. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Green Bay, October 16th. And then the following week, we have Denver, October 23rd. Those two games are going to feature Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. And that's only one little fragment of the schedule, but we have a bunch of games like that. The Ravens are a really tough game. The Bengals just went to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns are primed for another playoff run if Deshaun Watson is playing this season. We have a really tough schedule. So I'm still of the mind frame that if we can be competitive in most of the games, show proper development, we are on our way. We need a free safety. I'm okay at safety right now. I actually think we need a linebacker more than anything. Our linebacker depth is not good enough, if you ask me. If one player goes down, we're in really deep, what. Safety, we have a couple of guys. I like Pinnock. I like LaMarcus Joyner. The Jets seem to really, really like him. Love Jordan Whitehead. I know people are really down on Ashton Davis. They have not moved on from him, and he's going to be in his third year. I expect him to improve. How much does he improve? I don't know. But yeah, long term, like in the 2023 offseason, yes, let's go ahead and let's go get another safety. Absolutely. But I think linebacker is just such a big need right now. It's probably my biggest need on this team for the New York Jets. Let's see here. Going to be a short night, but always enjoy these nights. Y'all have a blessed night. Go Jets, Andrew, and thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate that, my man. What's going on, Vanilla? Hey, bro, let's go. Absolutely, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Let me check my socials real quick. See if anybody's getting at me. Let's see here. Nothing on Facebook. Maybe this is going to be not a call-in show. Maybe it's just going to be watching me talk for an hour straight. Which I will do, happily. Instagram, nothing. Oh, we got V-Man ready to go. All right, V-Man, you're coming on the show, brother. The link has been sent to you. And I will see you in just a second, V-Man. Bengals, Browns, Bills. Yes, the Bills, right. The Bills didn't go anywhere. They're still an elite football team. And as much as I hate to say it, the Dolphins are not a pushover, and the Patriots are not a pushover. I still expect us to split those games with the Dolphins and the Patriots. So, in best case scenario, we're looking at like 2-4 in the AFC. I'm sorry, not 2-4. Or no. Yeah, 2-4. Sorry, I can't do math tonight. Yeah, 2-4 in the AFC East, even if we split with the Patriots and the Dolphins. So ultimately, again, 7-8 wins is fair, and in my opinion, that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, raw power. I hear you on this one, man, because as a teacher, summers are so precious to me. Don't want to wish my summer away, but I cannot wait until September. So well said. 115 days until the first day of the NFL. That's a lot of days. This year will be awesome. We have a lot of playmakers, all gas, no breaks. Who's your favorite playmaker right now? Let's go ahead and let's do. I'll pose a couple of questions here while I'm waiting for Vinny to join. Who is the playmaker that you're just most excited to see? It doesn't have to necessarily be the player that's the best. To me, it's Breece Hall. I cannot wait to watch him play on this team. I think he's a scheme fit. I think he is explosive. And Saleh keeps talking about it. He's a guy that can legitimately go 80 yards. And with that kind of juice and explosiveness, when's the last time we had a running back that could do that? Yeah, well, stats, sure. Stats are secondary, of course. I'd rather go 17-0 and not have the stats. But it's part of the equation when you're trying to turn it around. We've had some really bad seasons, Tyler, as Jets fans. And so part of it is starting to see these players take a step forward statistically, because we don't get stats. We don't get wins, and we haven't been getting stats either. And again, we think, kind of ultimately, if the players start to play better, not only will the wins come, but also those stats for sure. But the wins are all that matters, of course. Nobody's going to disagree with that. Jay Perez, he says, if you look at Ryan Tannehill's 2021 stats, that would be a great goal for Zach. I'd have to take a look at it, or you can throw them in the chat. I'm not sure offhand what his numbers look like. Let's see here. Upset one. We will have 2,850 yards, 8 touchdowns, and tight end. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand. 8 touchdowns for the tight ends. I see. We will have 2. 850 yards, 8 touchdowns for the whole tight end room. Is that what you're saying? I think 850 yards and 8 touchdowns for all 3 of the tight ends. I would sign on that dotted line. That means you're getting about 400 and 300 and 100, roughly. I'm cool with that. We just need these guys to be productive. We don't need them to be, 800 plus yard receivers. The tight ends are good that we brought in. I don't know if any one of them is going to be a superstar. Dark Soldier, he says, I keep saying this on other channels. New England, Buffalo have new OCs. Miami has a whole new coaching staff. Denver and Chicago have new head coaches as well. Green Bay flies in from London the week we play them. Those are all interesting little nuggets there for sure. And certainly those are factors. That Green Bay team is going to definitely be a little bit jet lagged. But they're still a really good football squad, and I know you know that. It's going to be a tough one. In Green Bay especially. Aaron Rodgers is unbelievable. Say whatever you want about him as a as a playoff quarterback, but in the regular season, this guy is a stud. And we do play him in the regular season. So, all right, Mike Holiday says, I think we beat the Ravens. Patriots twice, Dolphins twice, Bears, 10 wins. The Dolphins and the Patriots twice. Wow. I won't say that it's impossible that we sweep one of those teams, but I would be stunned if we swept both of them. That would be really, really exciting. I don't expect it. I think more likely we're going to split. But we'll see, man. Yeah, that would be incredible to be able to do that. Isn't that such a breath of fresh air? It feels like we can breathe as fans. Yes, we have weapons, number of weapons too, man. So many. We got the Jason in here. What's going on, Jason? He says, where are you going to be sitting at the Ravens game? I'm going to be in section 106. I am going to be higher than you. I'm going to be in 311, but I'm sitting in row 1. And we have nice aisle seats. We sat in row 1 of the third mezzanine for the Patriots game and had a really good time. We were comfortable. We could see the whole field. I grew up sitting really close to Jets games. We had seasons tickets for a while, and we were right on the field, basically. I like being up higher. I like to be able to see the whole football field and really get to see how the plays develop. So it's also cheaper. But I'll be in 311, row 1. I think there's a chance we beat the Ravens. The problem here is this. How are we going to defend their running game? And it's not just Lamar Jackson. They have a really good ground attack, even if you don't have Lamar Jackson. They've always run the ball really well in Baltimore. Thank you very much, Dele. That's very kind of you. Yeah, my daughter's birthday is going to be next weekend. And we're really, really excited. 4 years old she's turning. Blink of an eye. Which every parent, I feel like they all say that, but it's so true. My goals are a lot less lofty. What a friggin' division game. Win a friggin' division game. Yeah, that's why the comment of winning 4 would be like mind-blowing when we haven't won an AFC East game in like 3 years or something like that, right? It's been a long time. And again, if we can win, if we can split with the Patriots and the Dolphins, that's at least a step in the right direction. Do I want more? Will I take more? Of course I will. I just don't see it quite yet. Owen Berea, dude, I sent you that link. Does anybody want to come on the show tonight? It feels like none of you want to join me, which is fine if that's the case. I'll continue to do my little thing here. V-Man, I sent you the link. Let's check on Instagram. Owen, I sent you the link. Let's see if we can get a stranger to the channel. Let's see if we can get a new face on here. I say we go 2-0 and then lose to Cincinnati. 2-0 would be a really, really intense thing, man. I would probably go to that Bengals game. If we start the season 2-0, I would probably want to go back. I would want to go back for that game. That would be even probably would have more it would be potential to have even a more intense environment than the opening week if we're 2-0 going into that game. Whew. Jets Fuel with the really cool profile pick. What's going on? He says 6 to 8 wins would be the floor. Roof would be 9 to 10. I think that's completely in bounds. Franco, I agree with you. I don't know why it's not more concerning to the New York Jets and like Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas. I mean, I guess there's not really a lot of moves to be made right now, even if they're desperate. But like, again, Quan Alexander probably should have been signed yesterday. We should have already been signing this guy. I know they're probably trying to get the really, really cheap contract to get him in here. But again, picture this scenario. CJ Mosley, let's just say he goes down for the season. He's out for the season. What are we doing at linebacker? What would happen to this defense if CJ Mosley got hurt? What would happen if Quinnen Williams got hurt for the season? That would be bad. Really, really bad. And the depth, there's no depth. There's zero depth for this position group. And it's why I'm so concerned about it. They should be making a move to get a guy in here. I agree about our safeties and our linebackers. Facebook, person from Facebook who's watching, they say 8 wins is very doable. Let's go Jets. 8 wins is doable. And especially if they can catch a little bit of momentum in the second half of the schedule and start to crush some teams. Detroit, they're not a pushover because they were very competitive last year, but we should be able to beat Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, Jacksonville. We play Miami at the end of the season. In our place too, I believe. We should be able to win a lot of games in the second half of the year, and that's my expectation. Whew. This is a juicy little stat. I didn't know this. We have 17 defensive linemen on our roster. How many are we going to keep on the roster? Great question. At least 10, right? About 10, because they're going to keep about 4 to 6 defensive ends, and they're going to keep about 4 to 5, maybe more defensive tackles. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say 10. I don't know how many they kept last year. I will be at the home opener. We bought tickets for the opener, yes. All good, Owen. Take your time. I want Ashton Davis to be the starting free safety week 1. I would say don't get your hopes up. And I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say that. What I mean by that is the New York Jets, Robert Saleh, all of them, I think they really, really, really like LaMarcus Joyner more than we realize. And I think that when he got hurt last year, it really effed us up, communication wise and just, ability, consistency on our defense. He was going to be a leader of the defense, even with CJ Mosley being in the picture. So my expectation is Ashton Davis will have a role and will get opportunities, but it's probably going to be LaMarcus Joyner. I would be willing to put money on that one. Hey, yo. I hope you lose in week 1, but otherwise wish you and the Jets well. All the best, John. I don't know who's leaving this comment, but it's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. I want us to win so bad. I want us to win in general. It doesn't have to be week 1, but I just want to win more games. Excuse me. I'm hyped to see what Garrett Wilson can do in this offense. Garrett Wilson can be really, really good. He has the potential to be a legit wide receiver 1. And I think Elijah Moore has that potential as well. Oh, everybody's responding to my question from earlier, the playmaker that you're most excited for. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Elijah Moore is going to be really great. Kenneth Ken. He says, Zach Wilson will have 30 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions, and he will be in the MVP conversation. Jets 11-6, and yes, playoff. So Kenneth, I'm going to say that my dad, whom I just saw today, he actually has the same mindset that you do. He believes that Zach Wilson is going to pop this year. And I'm not there yet. I'm not saying I don't believe in Zach Wilson. I'm a huge believer in him. But I think it's going to take at least another year for him to really acclimate himself to the NFL game and to master the offense that they're running. Would I say no to what you've proposed? Absolutely not. That would be phenomenal. I would never be greedier and ask for more. But I don't know, man. There are people out there that agree with you. I just think that it's just a little bit lofty. But if we get that stuff, man, holy cow. Jets fans will be so pumped up. We'll be a legitimate Super Bowl contender, in the future. I think that could definitely be on the table if he has a season like that, even if it's not this year, but next year. Um, let's take a look. Wow. So eventually, I think he will. I don't know if it'll be this year, Joe Grana, but I love, and if you've been watching the channel, guys, I love Jeremy Ruckert. I think he is going to be a tight end one for us, and I thought that he would be a tight end one for a lot of football teams, no matter who drafted him. I think he works hard. I think he's got the right mindset in regards to blocking. Like, he wants to be a really good, well-rounded blocker. He played receiver in high school, and then they interviewed him and they talked to him about that, and they said that he was one of the hardest working guys to get bigger, to get stronger, to work on technique. He wants to be able to do the little things right. And you take a look at what he did with his opportunities in that Ohio State offense. He did not get a lot of opportunities, but when he did, when they called his number, not only was he clutch, but he made really big plays. And I think his ceiling is really high. If you're talking about what's his floor, he's gonna be a good blocker in the NFL. I'm very confident in that, and I think that he offers red zone threat ability as a floor. As a ceiling, I think he becomes a guy that can really challenge the seam and will be hard to cover if you put a safety on him. And then if you put a linebacker on him, eventually he's going to need to learn how to run, really crisp routes and be able to separate in man coverage. That's one of the weaknesses that I've read about him and that I've seen on film, is that he's not a great separator in his route running. But those are all things that he can get really, really good at as he works on his, as he works on his craft, as he gets coaching and taught proper fundamentals. I love Jeremy Ruckert. So I hope Tua sucks. Welcome to the club. We all do. And we hope that Mac Jones continues to underwhelm. I give kudos to Mac Jones. I thought he had a pretty good rookie year, even though his arm talent is certainly not that impressive. I thought he did pretty dang on good. Joe Campione, he is my new Facebook friend. And again, guys, if you're not on Facebook, or if you haven't found me on Facebook yet, I am on there. Go to NY Jets Today on Facebook and then request me to be your friend. I'm on there. Would love to interact with you guys. Thank you so much, Lindles, for wishing my daughter a happy birthday. I'll have to show her this. She'll be very, very happy. Joshua McMillan, what I wouldn't give to be just playing for a playoff spot in Week 18 at Miami. We were joking about that at lunch today with my side of the family, my dad's side. We were all joking about going there, and it's one of those flex games. So it could potentially be flexed to 1 o'clock. It could be flexed to a Sunday night football game. Whatever it could be anything. How cool would that be? Even if we were only like an 8 or 9 win team and we had the chance to get into the playoffs, what an atmosphere. What an awesome game that would be. Out with the old and in with the new, taking the NFL by storm and winning the division. Let's go. Gary Judy, my cousin, has subscribed. What is going on? I love this. That's my cousin. Pretty cool. It's good to see that you're watching the channel now, Gary. Oh, we got Kevin Hammond subscribing. What's going on, Kevin? Let's see here. Upset one. Oddly enough, my dad was wearing a Hulk shirt today. So is this my father? That's the other question I have. Has my dad found the Jets Today channel? Out of the first 10 games, who has a better wide receiver than we do? Who has better running backs than we do? Who has better tight ends than we do? Go Jets. That's a pretty good point. That's a pretty interesting point. I got Mr. Owen waiting in the wings. I'm going to get him on the screen in just a few seconds here. Let him get himself calibrated over there. Jets fan for life. We're going to be 5-0 after 5 weeks. Jeez, man. I don't know. I can't. I hate to say that we won't, but I don't think we will. I don't think we'll be 5-0. It's too much to ask, man. And now I know who that Facebook user was that was commenting and saying, I hope you guys lose week 1. It was definitely my cousin. and he is a Ravens fan, so that now it's all making sense. Jorge, he says, who's the wide receiver one? Who's the wide running back number one? Who's the tight end one? Beginning of the season, Cali Indio Jets fan. I'm going to answer this question, and then I'm going to get Owen on the screen. Wide receiver one's going to be Elijah Moore to start the year out. Running back one, I think all year long, it's going to be Breece Hall. I know some people got upset on social media when I said that, Michael Carter is going to probably be 1B from the beginning of the season, but I really just feel strongly that they drafted Breece Hall for a reason, and they traded up for him for a reason. They believe he is a special breed of running back, and so he is my number one running back. Tight end one, I think, is going to be Conklin. I think he's going to get a lot of action. And the one that I think I would look out for is going to be... Oh, there we go. Here's Owen. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was going to say Uzama is the one that I expect to be the versatile piece. He doesn't necessarily need a million targets to be effective, but I think he's going to be the one that they move all over the football field. What do you got for me, Owen? Let me hear what you have to say tonight, man.
Well, first, happy birthday to your daughter, and I want to say what's up to the Jets fans, and thank you for letting me on the stream. It's awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I just think, the more I think logically about this upcoming season, I'm excited for our future. I love what Joe Douglas did. I love what Robert Saleh is doing, bringing guys in who, we would have to normally overpay to get, like CJ and Jordan Whitehead and DJ Reed. But I'm starting to really think, like, the way our schedule is set, especially early on, I can't see us winning so many games, unless, of course, Zach Wilson goes crazy. But I'm just so tired of projection and prediction. I just want to see, like, what it is. I want to see real, just like game experience. I want to see wins. I want to see guys perform well. I'm tired of, like, it's like the same thing we did with Darnold. Granted, that team was no good, but, like, we all thought, oh, Sam Darnold could be this. Oh, he had a couple good games against the Panthers or whatever bad team it was, and then just ended up not being anything, So, so I think realistically, I see us winning 6 games at the least, and then our ceiling's probably 8, hopefully 9. But that's all I really wanted to talk about was just the prediction of who we could really beat. Like, Steelers, they're a good team. They're just Kenny Pickett. I mean, it depends really on him, but their defense is lights out, and Najee Harris could run the ball like crazy.
Yeah.
New England, I keep asking myself, because I have a Patriots friend who, we debate about this all the time. I'm like, he's like our secondary and our tight ends we can debate, but, like, their line is as good as ours. Their receivers are more proven than ours. I like Elijah Moore better. I like the idea of Garrett Wilson better, but at the end of the day, I can't take guys who haven't had the production yet compared to them. So it's like, it's hard for me to say, oh, we'll definitely beat this team or we'll definitely beat the Lions, even though they're getting better. It's tough.
I think that's a good point you make about the Lions. They are not pushovers. I do expect us to be able to beat them, though, just because I feel like we took a really big step forward. But it's interesting you point out about the Patriots, their offensive line. People were talking to me about that, how they lost an offensive lineman. And a lot of people trashed the Cole Strange pick, and I get that it looks like a really big reach, but they do such a phenomenal job with they've been doing such a phenomenal job with their offensive line. It seems for literally 2 decades. It doesn't seem to matter who they bring in. They just figure it out, especially on that O-line. So I'm with you in that regard.
Right.
Like, I still don't sleep on the Patriots at all.
Of course.
Before I let you go, what are some other teams that you look at on the schedule that you're like, I just don't see it like this year? Like for me, that team is Green Bay. I don't see how we're competing with Green Bay this year.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
I mean, Baltimore week 1. I know they don't really have a receiver, but, like, God, they got Mark Andrews, who, if I'm being honest, I don't know if we have a linebacker who can cover him, if I'm being completely honest. And then they got Charlie Kolar, who, was a guy that we were all talking about, that we all would have been cool with. Their
and they got Isaiah Likely too.
Right, and they got all these running backs that are coming back healthy, along with Lamar, who's always a threat to run himself. So teams like that, you said Green Bay. I mean, nobody's expecting us to beat the Bills, but then like Cincinnati and the Browns are so good. Like,
the Browns are very good.
Like, I know our run defense should be better. Like I said, we did make a lot of moves. We picked up a lot of pieces on our defensive line. But at the end of the day, if a team can just run us over with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they don't need to throw all that much. They don't need to score that many points if their defense and their team in general is as good as they are. It's tough. Like I could see us starting the year 1-3 to start with the AFC North. I believe that is right with the Steelers and the
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yep.
You know, could we beat the Patriots, especially the first time around? I think so. Miami's a tough game, but I could realistically see us go before the bye week being like 3-6, and then I mean we have the light end of the schedule at the second half, so who knows?
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. Who knows if they can, if like I said, if they can catch any type of momentum in that second half of the season, I think that's what we kind of have to hitch our wagon to. Owen, it's 2 weeks in
Right.
a row, man. I really appreciate that for you calling in again. And again, hopefully you do it every week, man. I really do look forward to interacting with you more often, especially as we get
Yeah.
closer to the summer, man.
I know, right? And I think the one guy in the chat said it so perfectly, where it's like I don't want summer to end anytime soon, but God, can
Yeah.
football season just be here already? Like I just want to see these guys. I want to see like the Wilson to Wilson connection. I want to see Brees Hall run over people,
Yeah,
and
man.
and it's I gotta say one more thing or ask you one more question. It's like
Sure,
as
sure,
far as
yeah.
the projection and the predictions go, right? It's like the perfect example with my friend was like, I love Michael Carter. I love the idea of Brees Hall. I'm glad we got him. But how can I say for sure that like our running backs or our group is better than theirs when Damian Harris, has proven and done more than anyone on our team has so far. You know what I mean? Like that's the type of stuff where I'm like, it's hard for me to put money or like debate on that with a guy who's like, something like that.
I will say that like I don't want to. I'm not trying to be like a nerd, but like the analytics for
No, of
these
course.
two running backs, like Brees Hall and Michael Carter. Michael Carter is really, really good analytically to be able to avoid tackles, break tackles, even with his
Right.
size. So if the running game, I'm sorry, if the offensive line can stay healthy, which it wasn't last
Right.
year, and if they can gel, and we've got a Pro Bowler coming into the mix, like I think that's where you see them take off, and I think that's the mindset. It's not
True.
necessarily that that Damian Harris isn't necessarily any good. Is that your Patriots fan your friend giving you
Of
grief?
course, giving us some just spitting facts at me about his yards after contact and everything. Yes, spitting all the
Yeah.
facts at me because
So it's a
it's
similar
crazy.
conversation. It's a similar conversation. And it's a similar, answer, really.
Right, exactly. So and like you said, I love Michael Carter. I think he's great, and our line has gotten better. I think the biggest thing for our whole entire year that we're going to be talking about all summer is if we can stay healthy and Zach Wilson takes a small leap, not a great huge leap like Josh Allen in year 3, but just a smaller leap where he can get a few more touchdowns. He'll probably run the ball better. Nobody's talking about that. I don't think he'll pass for over 3,500 yards, but I think he'll run the ball and get us a couple more touchdowns and a few more yards that way. So I
Yeah,
think
we'll
it's
see. Thank
exciting,
you.
man. Thank you for having me, dude.
Absolutely. Have a great week. Have a great week coming up here, man.
You
All
too,
right,
man.
later.
Let's
Yep.
go.
Take
Go
care.
Jets.
All right, that's Owen calling in 2 weeks in a row. I want to thank you for doing that. We got a super chat I want to get to really quickly. It's from Vinny, and he says, "I'll play the birthday riff if you let me on for your daughter's birthday. Just be warned, I'm rusty and I'm no John Lennon on the guitar." We'll be away, or actually the Sunday show will not be happening next week because we'll be away for her birthday. But I would love that. If you want to call in on the next Sunday show and you play a little happy birthday for her, that would be pretty cool. Or you could just record it and send it to me on Twitter. Either one. Shit. You could do either one. That would be awesome. All right, we're going to wrap up this show here pretty shortly. Grant Rude, what's going on, man? He says, Watson, if suspended, will not be suspended until next year. The Jets will face him. And that's kind of that's the rumor that I'm hearing right now, is that he will not be suspended for the 2022 year. We'll see. It seems that way, though, right? Aaron Butler, some Jets fans really don't understand the high talent of the Ravens. It's not just Lamar. We certainly can win with Tyler Huntley. I'm sorry, we most certainly can win with Tyler Huntley with a healthy roster. You guys played with Tyler Huntley, and I believe you won the game that you played, right? And you're right. I think we acknowledge that the Ravens are really a very well-run organization. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. And I think that, John Harbaugh's been with them for a long time now, and he is a Super Bowl winning coach. So he is also, he's up to the task. And coaching is such a huge part of it. And so they have the coach, they have, good structure there. They had Ozzie Newsome for so long, and they just do a good job. They use the draft. They manage the draft, I should say, in a way that it allows them to have continued success. And ultimately, that's what we're kind of hoping for as Jets fans. We have Joe Douglas now, and he comes from that same, frame of thinking. And he was under he was under Ozzie Newsome for so long. We're hoping that, that's going to end up being our case, is that he's so solid in the draft that we never have, depth issues really, is that we just continuously add to our team through the draft and hit on a lot of these picks. Let's see here. I'm going to start wrapping up this show. All right. I think that's it. So again, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and hit it right now. If you're watching this after it airs, subscribe to Jets Today. Check out some of the content. There's lots of videos for the off season. And like I said, I will not be live this upcoming Sunday night because it will be my daughter's birthday weekend and we're going to go away. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and leaving comments. For all the new subscribers, really appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on potentially on Wednesday, and I'll give you a special announcement before I go. I'm going to be on Jets Media's channel on Tuesday. I'm going to be live streaming with him on Tuesday night. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night. Go Jets, and I'll see you guys next time.